Today, it's
us.
Just Kathleen and I chilling. We're just sitting here talking about news.
Yo. Hello and welcome to Checkpoint, where it's the annual season of it's warm outside and cold inside, so I need to wear a jacket inside, but not outside. The air conditioning is so cold. I'm so cold.
I mean, the air conditioning is at the temperature
that makes everybody else comfortable.
Well, no, but like the air conditioning has been at the same level the entire year. It's just only now it's actually like being effective in keeping it at the temperature it's supposed to be.
Yes, I suppose. But now I'm freezing. Sarah's starting to have that problem in my office. They put on the AC so high that we have to go outside to warm up.
Like, we don't put on the AC high or low. It's at a temperature.
Yeah, I'm just going to bring a sweater to wear at the office.
Stays
for the
fixed.
summer. For the summer, and my summer sweater. So, hi, yeah. No normal checkpoint today because it is Road Quest Day 0.
Yeah, pre-Road Quest.
Yeah,
Quest.
They don't leave till tomorrow, but everybody's running around doing lots of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks for the bits, Lord Crusher. We'll do bits and subs at the end, but
yeah, things are. Yeah.
Let us talk about all of the news that was fit to read.
Yeah. So for those of you who don't, this is basically like the end part of Checkpoint, but not the beginning part. No. Not the actual Checkpoint part.
Not the hard part.
We're just going to talk about stuff that seemed like silly.
Yeah. Spoilers, instead of doing Checkpoint, I was editing Friday nights, which does not go up for a while, but we had to get it done early.
Yeah, with Road Quest, there's a big backlog that has to be worked out. Anyway, so cool stuff that's happening. Starting with the Microsoft new controller, the Xbox Adaptive Controller.
Yeah, it's really neat. Apparently, it grew out of the old Xbox Elite controller, which was designed for like super programmers, like people who are like professionals. But because you could like remap the buttons and stuff like that, like people who had accessibility issues with regular controllers thought it was great, right? Because if maybe you only have the good use of one hand, or you have like a tremor or something, so you can't just like hold a controller, so that you could remap the buttons on that controller, and it proved to be incredibly popular. So Microsoft was like, hey, let's do something about that. And then they did like a hackathon where they like did a bit more stuff, and then they thought, actually, this seems to actually be something that needs to happen. And they worked with like Able Gamers and a couple of like gaming veterans associations to create the adaptive controller.
That's what it looks like there. Yeah, it's super cool. One of my friends a few years ago actually worked at UVic here in town. And they were working, the engineering department was actually working on basically this, except because they didn't have the support of the vendor, they were actually building like a device that would sit between the controller and the person and allow the same idea where you could plug in all sorts of different buttons and switches. So the fact that it's actually officially from Microsoft is super cool.
Yeah, well, also, like, this thing is, I think, like $250, which is a lot. But compared to other accessibility controllers, it's way, 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 way cheaper. So should make everybody's life a lot better.
And what's really neat about, and it's sort of interesting in that the actual controller itself, like, doesn't do that much. You got to get all the extra, like, there's all sorts of different ports in it and stuff. I can imagine that, like, people who don't need it for accessibility reasons, it opens up this realm of all sorts of interesting controllers that you can make for it, fight sticks and so forth.
Oh, its adaptive controller is $100. I mean, still very much cheaper than normally what those speciality rigs go for. So, hooray!
Yay! So good job, Microsoft.
Oh man, I'm just in the background here, so I'm like, lovely. I've just got this Vaseline soft focus thing going on. I look much cuter than normal.
Wait, I should get into that too.
Yeah. Don't we look nice, Paul? So glowy.
Yeah. You do that all the time.
We should both like scoot up.
All right. We can just defocus the camera a little bit.
Finally.
So Do you want Resident Evil 7 on your Switch?
God, yes.
Too bad. You can't. You can play it on your Switch.
Yeah, wait.
But you can't have the game on your Switch. If you're in Japan, Capcom is going to set up a thing where you can stream the game and play it. You can demo it for 15 minutes and then you can buy it and actually play it. But you can't actually buy the physical game or even download it onto your Switch to have.
Yeah.
You can only play it off of... You download like a 40 meg little thing and then you play it off of Capcom's server.
Yes. How it works is basically you're streaming the PC version of the game to your Switch. And so you need a reliable, high-speed internet connection, which in Japan, and this is basically a Japan-only thing, because the version that you can do this with does not include any of the English voice track. So unless you are fluent in Japanese, it's not going to work for you anyhow. In Japan, reliable, super high-speed internet connection is probably actually very easy to get as long as you're in a major city. As somebody who's been to Japan and you get, like, you rent the little, like, wireless Wi-Fi dongle, and would be the same sort of signal that you'd be using for your Switch to stream the game. Worked pretty well. I've never streamed a game with it, though, so, you know, somebody will be stress testing that. But I think it's more feasible in Japan than it would be here, when it would just be like,
oh, yeah, definitely.
But anyhow, so yeah, basically you're streaming the PC version to your Switch. And it's only like $20, but you only get it for 6 months. It's really weird.
Oh, yeah, and they are also doing a thing for... Phantasy Star Online as well. But the thing is, like, Phantasy Star Online obviously is an online game. Like, Resident Evil is a single player game, which is why it's just sort of weird.
Yeah.
But all right, what else we got? Speaking of single player games, Black Ops 4 was announced just earlier this week in to great fanfare.
Yeah, COD Blops 4 is coming.
Yeah. And surprise, surprise, it's going to have a Battle Royale mode.
Surprise, surprise, the Battle Royale mode is replacing the single-player mode.
Yeah.
No more single-player, but now you and X number of friends, because they haven't told people how many the multiplayer mode would support. But spoilers, I think it's less than 100.
Otherwise, they would have just said that.
Yeah, exactly. 100, like every other game in the world.
What I love, not only have they not been saying that, but they've been being weirdly cagey about...
Yeah, it's like, well, you could count the yellow dots on screen, I suppose.
Yes.
It was what David von der Haar said.
Yes. If you look closely, we may have already told you how many people it can support. It's like, just
somewhere between 2 and 1 grillion is our expert opinion.
Yeah. 1 grillion is a technical video gaming term.
Used by all professional and serious developers.
So yeah, it's I mean, I personally am like I'm big on single player things.
Yeah, me too.
So it kind of makes me. I mean, I wasn't a big COD Blops player.
Did any of us play COD Blops? Did either of us play COD Blops?
No,
it's not for us. So who cares?
So yeah, but it always makes me sad to see a game that is. I mean, the Call of Duty series was known as a very strong single player series.
Yeah,
it makes me sad to see that happen.
The game's best moments of storytelling in it, right?
Yeah, the old no Russian and all that stuff.
Yeah, but you'll still be able to fight zombies though, so don't worry about that.
Yeah, yeah, they're super into the zombie thing. I don't know. I thought the zombie thing was kind of over now, but no.
Nope.
The rumor was that they had a single player campaign and they just couldn't get it done in time, but they've tried to be very to say that no, we were never going to do a single player campaign. So who knows? We will see. All right, what else we got going on?
Speaking of multiplayer, though, let's jump to this story. Speaking of games that are going multiplayer, No Man's Sky, 2 years after it launched, is going to have the full immersive multiplayer that we were promised before it launched.
Yeah. And No Man's Sky is weird because it's always been... It's had this thing where it's like sort of multiplayer in the sense that multiple people could play it.
Yeah.
And for a while, they were even talking about how, like, lots of people can play it, but you'll probably never actually see each other.
You know what I think? I actually met one of the developers for No Man's Sky when I was in Australia at PAX Aus 2016, and they were a very nice person, and I really and it was nice to talk to them. And what What really struck me about No Man's Sky is that I feel like everyone working on that project really had the best of intentions, and it got kind of like swept up by like the media hype and like people wanting that game to come out, and not necessarily the people who are working on that game wanted that game to come out. And I really feel like the developers should have maybe had another year.
Well, I read an interesting article that came out a few days or a little while after the original game came out, talking about like if it had been released like say Minecraft, you know, where it had been like come out and got like a big player base and it's kind of built up steam.
Yeah.
Then you know the whole narrative behind the game could have been totally different. I felt it was sort of hyped up in a way that was almost like a AAA game when it wasn't sort of intended that way.
No, it was supposed to be like a weird indie game that they would, you know.
Yeah.
Although Ashiok Nightmare Beaver says No Man's Sky is still great for getting ripped and putzing about on space and putzing about on planets, which I believe is still the major use case for No Man's Sky.
But yeah, I mean, from what I understand, like if you bought the game when it came out and were disappointed in its stuff, from what I understand, if you go back to play it now, it's basically a totally different game. Like it's got, you know, 10 times as much stuff to actually do in it.
Yeah, I mean, I maybe I should try it again. And then this is just funny. So, Valve was doing a thing. This would definitely be a story I would cover if we were doing a full checkpoint here. So Valve did a thing where they're like, hey, if you reach level 2000 in Dota... Wait, can you scroll back up so I can make sure I'm saying exactly specific right? Oh, wait. Yes. Anyone reaching level 2000 would get a statue of a baby Roshan. Whatever the fuck that is.
It's real ugly.
It's a real ugly thing, but it was like this pewter thing. Paul's going to get a picture up, but this is what you were supposed to be getting. And that's very majestic, I believe. Hey, Graham, go look at Friday Nights. It's done. Okay. And it looked very nice, but unfortunately that is not what people got.
Yeah, so people ended up with this, which, to the keen-eyed among you might notice, is kind of shitty looking.
He's a little different. As you can see, the patina is not quite the same. Also, the mouth appears to be quite different. This appears to be like something out of a plastic mold.
Yeah. Like the original one, like the demo, they looked like it was going to be made of like pewter or something.
Or at least painted to look like pewter.
Yeah.
This is not. So Valve has been like, well, geez, yeah. Go back to the first one. I just want to see what, like, I think the teeth and the mouth are, like, much different. Yeah, look at that. Like, the mouth was supposed to be open. There's supposed to be detail there. Like, this is, like, a nice piece of statue, and that is clearly just, like, that has been fired out of a mold. So, yeah.
Why does his face look like a butt? This is a very important question.
Yeah. So yeah. So they're like, actually, never mind. We're gonna send out new statues.
Yeah.
We're gonna do what it takes until everybody who reached level 2000 in 2017 gets a statue in 2019, probably.
It's like, yeah. So I'm always fascinated to know, like, what the hell happened, like, behind the scenes here. Like, was it that they weren't checking? Did they, like, look at it and be like, it's fine, I guess. We'll get away with that. Or was it just, like, it went way down the totem pole and nobody, like, did a double check on it and they're like, oh, that guy's fired. Anyway.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. They said it was poor production quality yields. Somebody said that somebody in chat was like, I thought they were commissioning Weta for this. And they certainly might have commissioned Weta for that, for the mock-up of what they were supposed to be getting, but... then some shortcuts were taken. How can I passive voice that more?
Shortcuts were taken. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's as some people in the comments to this were talking about how like it's you had to reach, so it's like you reach 2000 level 2000 and you get this thing for free, which seems cool, except the way it was set up was such that, like, in the time allotted, there was no way you could get to level 2000 without putting a pretty good chunk of money into whatever things that made you up, like, level up faster.
Right.
So, like, people weren't getting this thing for free. So anybody who had got this thing had put a fair chunk of money into Dota.
And then they got this.
Yeah.
Which is not nice. It's not very good. E3's coming up soon. Devolver Digital is already apologizing for its upcoming E3 press conference.
So Devolver Digital is known for having unique, shall we say, press conferences, where they do like crazy weird stuff, and that isn't necessarily like useful as a press conference.
Yeah, it was more like a performance art piece masquerading as a press conference last year.
Which is like entertaining for us here or there, but if you're like, say, a journalist and have to go to a billion press conferences and it's like this one didn't actually give you any information, it can be kind of a pain in the ass. It's like, that was fun, but
yeah,
I actually I have to cover 10 other shows today and I just wasted 2 hours.
Yeah. And as the voice of dissent there, I thought Devolver's shtick was funny, but it like way outstayed the length of their fake press conference, which was the length of a real press conference, right? Like, it was a full press conference. It was like half an hour or something like that, and I don't think that they had enough jokes for that full half an hour, so they just kind of did the same bit over and over again, and like, I guess that it's like sort of an edgy Adult Swim kind of thing, but more jokes this time. If you're just like pissing around and making a mockery of it, great, but like, make more of a mockery of it. More jokes, please.
So, if you're, so anyway, what they've said is that this year, the big fancy press conference will feature real, actual game reveals and technological innovations, but also, as well as the silly stuff. So we're promising that we're actually going to do something practical in addition to all our dumb stuff.
I hope they're lying to us. It was 15 minutes? It was only 15 minutes last year? It felt like a fucking eternity. Yeah, I got the joke after the first 5, and then you did it twice more. But, like, I mean, better that than another, like, Sony press conference where they're like, you'll ejaculate, it's so amazing, right? I was like that for 58 hours.
There's this, so I mostly noticed this because, you know, they're obviously for Now Kiss.
Yeah. That might be what I play if I do any New Day Tuesday tomorrow. I play this.
This is like the opposite of Now Kiss.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, this is actually coming out today.
So maybe this is New Day Tuesday tomorrow.
Yeah, there's a game coming out called Heartbreak High. And the premise of the game, it's the opposite of Now Kiss, because the premise of the game is that you are already in a relationship with everybody in school.
Yes.
And you have to break up with all of them.
Yes.
And sometimes that just requires, you know, saying it. Sometimes that requires, like, mini games or puzzles, or in some cases there's like RPG battle systems that you have to deal with. It's a unique idea, but apparently it's really short. Apparently it's only like 40 minutes long.
Yeah.
So it's like the end of the year, you have 40 minutes to break up with everybody at school before the school ends.
That sounds great.
So there's this other story that's sort of related to the COD Blobs thing with the like multiplayer single player thing, because it was a big change. People started investigating into like, okay, so like how many people actually played Call of Duty single player, like how big of a problem is this going to be?
Like why did they get rid of single players? It turned out it's just like 4 people really grinding on it. Everybody else is like, I would just want to shoot a zombie, man. Yeah.
So now this is obviously extremely rough, but they based on achievements that people have acquired. It is not that impressive in terms of like how many people have like acquired because you get achievements for like passing different levels, and those are publicly viewable, so they can see that not a huge number of people. You can see it topped out at Call of Duty 3 with about 35% of people, or 35% Yeah.
Yeah, that's okay. So here, let me just read from this Gama Sutra article. The data gathered by True Achievement shows that looking at games in the Call of Duty series since Call of Duty 2, Call of Duty 3 had the highest story participation average, with an average of 36% of storyline achievements unlocked by players. So that means on your average player did a third of the single player campaign. Black Ops 3 had the lowest percentage of the series at 4%, while the most recent release, World War II, had 29%.
Mm-hmm. And as a comparison, they did also show a couple other series in terms of story participation. So, as you can see, it's not like as dire as it looks like. Mm-hmm. It's not like you can see there's lots of series in which the story participation, even in very story-driven series with no multiplayer, is not ridiculously high, because we're talking people who, because obviously lots of people buy the game and then don't like it, or there's all sorts of reasons why you might not finish a story.
When you look at 15% in Fallout, that's your average player has unlocked 15% of the story, because there's the completionist who does every single route and gets every single thing, but most people don't do that. They just play through the once, right?
So anyway, the people who released these stats, released it and put the big asterisks and saying this is, not to be taken, under advisement, but it's not a.
Yeah. Also, Ashiok Nightmare Beaver, it does in fact count the Chivos that are super hard mode, advanced, you've unlocked everything in the game, right? So of course, your participation is going to be going down there.
Yeah, and Sentiment Madness is correct in that you can get more info if you actually read this article on Gama Sutra.
Yeah, and it's not the percentage of players who did any percent of the story. It's the average completion. It's the average number of story completion Chivos that people have gotten in that game. So the average for COD Blops World War II was 29%. So, on average, a person has played 29% of the story, right? But that means that somebody's played 100% and somebody played 0%, right?
Right.
So, or lots of people played through and actually beat it, but the issue being there's tons of achievements. So even if you beat the single-player game, maybe you only get 70% of the achievements, right? I don't know how the achievements break down for Call of Duty World War II, but think of it like that, right? I've beat Persona 5, but I don't have a bunch of achievements in the game because I didn't complete several social link confidant routes, right? So I don't have Chivos for that. I don't have Chivos for completing all of the missions that what's his face your moon confidant gives you. And even though I have beaten the game, probably I've gotten maybe 50% of the Chivos.
Right.
So it's not saying that nobody finishes these games.
What Glenn Seto in the chat there says is it actually an interesting idea. That the sort of lamentation that Call of Duty is killing their single player stuff. Maybe it is that that the idea that having a game that is a really great single player game and a great multiplayer game doesn't necessarily mesh that well. It would be interesting if they released a Call of Duty game that didn't have any multiplayer.
Yeah.
That they could concentrate specifically on that and then just be this is the multiplayer one, this is the regular one. So. Oh,
apparently COD's particularly bad because playing the campaign on normal also doesn't pop the Chivos. Just the completion one. So yeah,
obviously the stats are not.
This is actually not helpful statistically.
That useful.
Then, is it?
It's just kind of it's an interesting thing, but you have to take it with the grain of salt or massive amounts of salt or whatever however much salt you want to say. Anyway, so there's been there's this great image that was shared by one of the original designers of the Pokemon, James Turner, not related to our James Turner.
The second most famous James Turner. Actually, there's a more famous YouTuber named James Turner too. So the third most famous James Turner Number 3 being ours.
So there's a manga book dating the life of one of the founders of Game Freak, and showing a bunch of Pokemon that were designed but not used. You can see.
Check that out. Look below Diglett. There's some sort of thing.
Yeah.
Between Diglett and Venonat, and then above Diglett, there's some sort of antler thing.
And to be honest, the most amazing thing about this is, considering the number of Pokemon they have, the idea that they've designed some Pokemon that they have not used.
Yeah, that there are reject Pokemon still.
Yeah, that like maybe it's like really you went for like the ice cream cone Pokemon before you went for this one. Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah, like what's
it's
wrong
like
with the shark?
There's some Pokemon that are kind of scraping the bottom of the barrel. And so it's impressive that they had one still in the back pocket that they are not using. Maybe they're going to show up in future Pokemon games.
Who knows? Apparently some of the rejected ones from this Pokemon game did show up later. But interestingly enough, now people have drawn amazing fan art of these thus undiscovered Pokemon.
So now they, just because they're not actually like in the game at all, doesn't mean that
we can't enjoy
them actually existing.
Yeah, look here. Show this fan art. This is good stuff. It's all good, but like this is some highlights in the Kotaku article here. Look at that great look at that derpy dinosaur. I can understand why my bottom right maybe didn't get in. That's not perhaps. I don't even know what that's supposed to be.
The like moose one there fits right in with with the rest of the Pokemon though.
Yeah, there's a Girafarig in the game. A Girafarig with a second butt with like a second. No, he's got one butt, but he's got a second head on his butt. He's got a butt brain.
Oh.
So you can never sneak up on them because the little butt face can see you coming. How is Girafarig in the game and this not?
I was not aware of the giraffe with the butt brain.
It's a stupid long horse. Oh wait, speaking of ludicrous Pokemon though.
Oh yeah?
Pokemon Go.
Oh yeah, they're bringing the new ones.
They're bringing Aloha Pokemon to Pokemon Go, which means I'm going to start playing Pokemon Go again because all I need in my life is an Alohan Executor. They're the ones that are like the palm, like the regular Executor is like a palm tree, and this is a very tall palm tree.
That's the only difference?
Yeah, with a super long neck. They're amazing. They're so cute.
I hope you don't have to actually go to like tropical locations.
Oh, you probably do, knowing how shitty Pokemon Go is to its players. Oh, you can only get this if you go to Germany for 3 days where there will be no cell signal because everybody will be in the Safari Zone. Oh, come out to Pokemon Go 2 Fest. Pokemon Go Fest 2. This time, we rip you off again.
It's weird that Game Freaks has a German accent. Or not,
that's just my generic villain voice.
Oh, I see. Or Niantic, I should say. Anyway, although in terms of video game marketing, to do a very terrible segue here, holy crap! So Epic is putting $100 million down for the next year of Fortnite competitions.
That's a lot of money. Obviously, it's not one person's winning $100 million.
No. That's for over the next for the 2018-2019 season.
That's a lot of money.
That is. I remember like a few years ago, Valve like dropped some serious change on Dota 2.
That was like $20 million.
Yeah, it was not that much.
This is just a fucking fire hose of money that they're unleashing.
So I guess Fortnite's been doing well for them.
Yeah, good job, Epic. Yeah, I don't know. Well, if you want $100 million,
yeah, then I guess Fortnite is the place to be. I don't know if there's. I do like that they've said that obviously the $100 million is to really push their competitive stuff, but we plan to be more inclusive and focused on the joy of playing and watching the game, as opposed to the sort of really hardcore. It sounds like they're going like rather than sort of trying to turn it into some Counter-Strike or something where it's like very hardcore serious play.
This is not your StarCraft esports thing where it's also like, serious business, Apparently they're going to be looking outside the box of traditional esports for inspiration. And if Fortnite has taught me anything, it's that as Fortnite or Forkknife or whatever you want to call it becomes more popular, people are taking to Twitter to complain that they cannot engage with sex with their partners because their partners are busy playing Forkknife.
Oh.
Such as my favorite tweet that went out. Damn it, I just want to get my ass eat, but my man's playing Forkknife again. So I want to see the annual Forkknife ass eating competition where you have to propel.
There's a pretty solid prize pool,
yeah,
so
yeah.
you know.
Yeah, I want to see somebody propel their partner to orgasm while involved in analingus and being the last one standing in Forkknife.
I feel like that would be difficult to stream on Twitch.
They said they're looking outside the box of traditional esports. Nothing.
That is definitely outside the box.
Nothing is. The sky's the limit, Epic. You have $100 million.
I also saw speaking of Fortnite, I saw another article that was like, jetpacks are finally in Fortnite.
It's like, you don't have to ride a rocket anymore.
It's just one of those things where it's like, jetpacks weren't in Fortnite? With all the other stupid stuff they've got in that game?
Yeah.
They didn't have jetpacks? I thought for a sec that you wanted the ass eating to actually be like a thing in Fortnite. That like like a DLC.
You gotta have
option.
sick micro to be able to do.
It's like a DDR kind of mini game.
So much coordination resolved or required.
Do you know what really requires coordination? The new Halo game, which is actually an arcade cabinet.
Yeah.
Which is, I didn't even know they were like, or I was gonna say I didn't know they like still made arcade cabinets.
Yeah.
And they're working with one of the only companies that still makes arcade cabinets. It has a 130-inch 4K monitor and four seated turret controllers. And it's going to be exclusive to Dave and Buster's arcades in the United States and Canada.
Oh, good. So there'll be 6 of these machines made, and I'll never be able to look at one.
Yeah, we do not have Dave and Buster's arcade.
Why do this? I guess they need new arcade machines because eventually they become so caked with like spilled sodas and like hand grease that you have to burn them, or they gain sentience and they're just disgusting like trash golems. But like seriously, like why?
The Halo Fireteam Raven arcade experience. It's like ridiculously wide angle and yeah. It's sort of a fun throwback, I guess. But
okay,
but it's like, okay, that seems cool. Are you actually working on like a real Halo game?
Yeah.
It's like when
one that I can play.
Well, it's
one
like
that I can at least behold with my eyes.
When Konami was like, "Hey, new Metal Gear," but it's actually like a pachinko machine.
Yeah, it's like, fuck you, don't even bother. Take that shit outside. Don't even tell me about it.
Anyway,
I've never said like that. I'm not angry at Dave & Buster's. I'm just like, great, a place where I will never be able to go because like I've never seen a Dave & Buster's in my life. Apparently, there's one at SeaTac, according to Peach, who's in chat. But why would I want to go to SeaTac just to play at a Dave & Buster's? If I'm going to be in that area, I'm just going to get on a plane. I'm not going to Tequila for fun, right? I know enough about Seattle, and I know that like it's I know the suburbs around SeaTac, but I still don't want to go there.
Yeah, the trick is how are how are people going to stream it? That's the real trick. You're gonna have to like stream it with like your phone, while like doing like a live stream of just like recording it with your streaming from your phone.
So what?
IRL.
You need 2 phones.
Yeah.
We
need to set up this technology.
Yeah, we need Graham's like ultra wide moment lens or something.
So anyway, that was all the news that I thought was particularly interesting that I saw this week. As we were talking about, E3 is coming.
Yep. So we'll have lots to talk about next week, I think.
Like the oncoming storm, or next week or the week, I don't know. In a few, I don't know when E2 is actually coming out, but everything is. It's like there's like the tsunami, right? And like before the tsunami comes, all the water rushes away.
Yeah, the tide has gone out, and we're standing here waiting with like a little bucket, picking up shells and being like, "Oh, that's weird."
And then there's like,
"Where's all the video game news?"
And the lifeguard is like, "No, come back!"
No, the lifeguards are like, "Fuck this, I'm out of here." Gotta catch that Devolver press conference. I hear they're gonna eat ass on stream, right?
We cannot confirm or deny that will be happening.
I wouldn't put it past Devolver.
June 10th? Oh, that's way far away.
Yeah. Will you stream E3?
We'll probably do some sort of streaming if we can.
Yeah.
If they do the restreaming thing that they have in the past, we'll probably try to get some of them up. Obviously, it depends on the schedules.
Yeah, it gave us the classic Adam telling Beach to shut the hell up during the Monster Hunter scene. Shut up, Steve Beach! How could we not go back for that?
All right. So
let's do our subs.
That was the news that we talked about.
Yes. Joan Lever is talking about the Valve dating game thing. I don't know enough about it. It's still very much in flux. I'm going to reserve comment until more has shaken out from that. Oh my goodness, so many subs. So many bits.
Let me figure out. I think this is the first person here.
All right.
We can put it up on the thingamadoodle.
Oh, how exciting. While you're doing that, unfortunately my last music stream VOD got muted, and a couple people have asked me about that, and I have some emails to answer about that. I can't do anything about that. That's sort of the ephemeral nature of streaming music that I don't own the rights to. But playlist is up in our Discord, Apple Music and Spotify.
Yeah, you just like play the music at the appropriate times while watching the stream.
Yeah, most of my talking is still there, and I ramble a lot, so that's fine. All right, our subs.
All right, thank you to everybody who watched and is supporting us, especially Zenguin47. Is a new subscriber.
And Amori Lingue for 3 months says, excited for points to be checked and or chilled. Thank you so much for all your work. Heart to you too.
Margie Argy for 1 whole year, 12 months. That's not actually a year yet since it's the start of the month. Close enough. We'll take it.
Ragnarok 2KX. He's come back for a second month, or they've come back for a second month. Thank you.
Dragon Heartfur for 9 months. A sub baby for my birthday.
And Miko Kisai for 11 months says, Paul, on my screen, and my checkpoint is more likely than you think.
Nathan JGA for 11 months. A toast to the crew on the eve of Road Quest. Best luck in your journey. May the roads be smooth and your wheels align.
We checked the cards for that. Drain 10 for 11 months. Woo!
Jeremy Noel.
Jeremy Noel. Hi, Jeremy.
Sorry. For 10 months.
Hi. Flying Ultra Car for 34 months says, points to check in anticipation of questing route. Someone hold me in anticipation of the coming Lurge route. Paul and I are going to be here all week for 2 weeks.
Timer Quack for 20 months.
You're just going to get more of us.
Yeah.
Lago Drit says, best of luck to the road crew and everyone holding down the fort of the moon base. Looking forward to the series. Yeah. Modrin
for 20 months.
Oh, that sounds like an allergy medication to me. Hayes MH is a brand new subscriber. Welcome to the channel. Yeah.
Hey, I know that guy. For 38 months.
NQBW for 7 months. Woo!
Birds of Paradise for 17 months.
Dragon Sean is a new subscriber. Thanks, Dragon Sean.
Mr. Sandmans for 6 months.
And thank you for 202 bits from Earthen One, Lord Crusher, and Rock Pusher. So before we go, I have some stuff to talk about. One, it's not going to be a drought of streams. Oh, we got a couple new subs, actually. Hold on.
Yeah, people just sliding in there at the end.
So let's say thank you to, come back, to Mr. Sandmans, who cheered for, or subscribed for 6 months in a row, and Paranundrux, who subscribed for 33 months in a row. But, okay, announcements. One, there's not going to be a drought. You get more Paul and more Kathleen than ever before. In fact, New Day Tuesday is probably going to be like an hour tomorrow, if anything at all, because I have a lot of editing work to do, because normally my editing days are now filled with streams, so you'll be seeing so much of this. This situation is all up in your grill. Also, in this situations that are up in your grill, our good friend Molly Lewis is coming to come up and visit for a few days, so she's going to be on streams Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. On Tuesday, she is going to be doing Talking Sim. On Wednesday, she's going to be on Let's Nope. And on Thursday, there's going to be a very special edition of Brave New Faves with moi, Corey, and Molly. And we're going to actually get like a record player in here, and we're going to listen to stuff. It's very cool. So, that's
Brave
happening.
New Faves.
But that's happening on at 6 p.m., and it's going to be sweet.
But also, as you saw it there, wait. As you saw there, we got all sorts of other fun stuff happening. Tonight is, even though Road Quest is happening, we thought ahead, and Dice Friends for this week is actually already complete.
Yeah. After last week's session, we all took a break for dinner, and then we went back and did another D&D session, so we pre-recorded it, which meant that I was very tired and very cranky last week because I had to prepare about... I had somewhere around 5 hours of material ready to go, which was a lot. It's a lot in a week. So, wow.
So that'll be happening at the normal Dice Friends time, and we'll be doing the stream, and then we'll be sort of having a live sub-welcomes and thank yous and stuff at the end.
Yeah. I'm not going to be there because I have to go home to my precious babo. But you can see the exciting conclusion of Camp Nettleby.
Yeah.
The real question is, will Kathleen and Molly have matching hair? No, because my hair is not curly like Molly's.
And then we got Cameron going to be taking over for James on One More tomorrow. Mm-hmm. So possibly there might be a truncated New Day before that.
Yeah, if it is, it's probably going to be the breakup game, because it's apparently 40 minutes long, and that's about all I have time for. I've got to edit the panelists, and normally I do that on Thursday, but on Thursday I'm doing Lure MTG and a music stream.
And so it's Talking Sim Tuesday night. And then on Wednesday, no 9 o'clock, but it should be fun. Corey and Molly and myself are going to be doing Watch and Play.
How exciting.
Corey's going to be the master of ceremonies, I guess. Mm-hmm. And Molly and I will have to deal with whatever she has to offer. And then we're going to be doing some Nidhogg 2 on Crossing the Streams. So that should be good. And then I will be playing some stuff on Games of Chance on Thursday. I will find out what that game is this afternoon. And then we got LRMTG and music streams. So
that'll be fun. Note that it's booked in for 2 hours in our calendar.
Ooh. So anyway, we will make sure you check the schedule to see, because while we are doing a lot of streaming this week, the schedule is a little bit unusual.
Yeah.
So.
For example, some streams have changed times to accommodate the lack of people around. So just check the streaming calendar, which is on our website, and yeah. And
and one final bit of business. We tweeted about it, but if you are someone who put at least $10 towards RoadQuest, you should have received a kind of welcome email that just sort of says like, "Hey, there's no actual videos yet, but just to let you know, you are on the list." So if you've not received that email and you think you should have,
check your spam folder.
Check your spam folder and all that stuff. So we want to make sure that everyone is getting that stuff.
Yes. A couple people in chat saying, "Yep, got it. Great, got it."
Excellent.
While we were blathering, Animated Disc subscribed for 11 months in a row, saying, "Interesting week ahead with the new lineup."
I mean, it's not like a permanent new lineup, but for the next couple weeks, things are going to be a little bit fancy.
Technical, unfortunately, the contribution time has passed. We wanted to give ourselves enough time between leaving to be able to cut things off, get everybody's emails, and then put them into a big mailing list so we could send out updates.
Yeah.
So, sorry about that, but please check your promotions tab in Gmail Check your spam if you didn't get it, because we sent it to every email address associated with the PayPal donation. So got it, went to a different folder. Yeah, check all the folders, because obviously it's not going to be. Your mail sorting is doing the correct thing by saying this appears to be part of a large mailing list sent to more than you and a lot of people not in your contact network. You probably don't want to read this, but in this case you do. So
anyway, thank you everybody who supported that and who is continuing to support us. And we'll come back in just 2 hours or so to check out Dice Friends.
Woo!
But for the moment, we will talk to you later.
Bye.
Bye. Oh,
It didn't work.
Didn't work.